Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back for another video. If you couldn't tell, I have once again relocated because I had to give up my office to my son because he needs a bedroom. But getting into the video for today, I want to talk about something, kind of diving in a little bit more what I mentioned in a video I did yesterday about Walking Dead, and just, how we don't have any news on really what's going on with Rick or just anything regarding his side of the story, the spinoffs, just kind of where they lay. But I really just want to talk about what they could possibly do. I think what would be best, because if you recall from, I think it was Comic-Con 2023, where Gimple had talked about, doing a crossover series. It was something that I guess he was working on. It was currently untitled, and just a couple of different things he was trying to do to wrap up the ongoing open-endedness that is The Walking Dead. And I thought yesterday, why don't they kind of do a soft reboot, temporary thing of The Walking Dead season 12, and like an unofficial thing, just kind of do it that way, to with the sole purpose of that is how they're going to bring everybody home. That is what they're going to do to get the reunions that we want to see. And I think that is probably the best option. Instead of going the route of coming up with a whole different series, bring it back to where it started. Bring it back to the very beginning, because I can just imagine after something like that is announced, after they go through it and it's out there, it's being aired and whatnot, how people would react, how the hype would be built back up upon hearing that traditional Walking Dead theme coming on, knowing that this is the end, this is the wrapping up of a universe that is 15 years in the making. But again, something like that, it would probably be almost 18 years or more, possibly even 20 before they did something like that, because they're so set right now with doing these spin-offs with Daryl Dixon, with Dead City. They've talked of others. I don't know if they're actually going to do anything because of the failure of other spin-offs that they did, like Tales, I suppose, was supposed to go multiple seasons. It only did 2, which in my opinion, that was probably enough. It kind of crammed everything they needed to into that series. We got the return of Jadis. We got a little bit more flashbacks. And I always like seeing the flashbacks. That's like some of my favorite parts of the Walking Dead universe, is when they go into the fall. The fall, in my opinion, is the best. And we get to see the unraveling of society and just how structure and order just come tumbling down. That's just been my favorite part. But with the how I think they should wrap this up, with how I think they should bring Rick back, bring everybody back from The Walking Dead that has any interest in coming back anyways, and just I think that would be the best way to do it. Just bring everybody back, go back to Alexandria, maybe not so much reconstruct that entire set, because I know it's long since gone. They have torn it down. They're even selling off parts of the wall and everything, which I did pre-order myself a piece of that, so hopefully that comes in here in the next few weeks or so, because they told us we could not expect it until after the holidays. So be on the lookout for a video about that, because I'll definitely do a video about that when I get that piece. It's supposed to be like a 19-inch by so piece of the Alexandria wall. I'm very excited to get that, and I'll definitely do a video about that when I get that. Going back to the basics, just like Andy Lincoln has kind of expressed interest in, if he were to come back and do more Walking Dead, go back to the basics, go back to surviving the apocalypse, scavenging for supplies, going up against the undead, and all of it. Just having it all be about bringing everyone together for that final fight or what have you. Maybe have a small villain in there, maybe even sow in some of those seeds that are left of the CRM, because Major General Beale talked about how there's supposedly spies all over the world that have to do with the CRM that are kind of on his way of thinking or whatever. Have that come back in, give it a proper close, because just simply blowing up that base or whatever, everyone agrees that was very rushed. That last episode of The Ones Who Live, it was very rushed, it was very forced, and just that was like the only real complaint about that series. Other than that, that series was great. It was great to see Rick and Michonne come back and see them come back together and see them go home and everything, but it left us feeling very unfulfilled as far as where the hell is everybody else? Where is everyone that has been wondering where Rick is for the last decade almost? You have Daryl off on the other side of the world, and it seems he's abandoned that mission. And I kind of mentioned that in my last video. It's like he doesn't even care now. It's like, well, I guess we'll just wait and see what happens, even though he asks Carol, who were you talking about? Because he's clearly, in that episode of the first season, he's clearly thinking, maybe Rick came back. But she's like, oh, just a feeling came back. Well, that's stupid. So that's just my general thinking on it. And, maybe some people share the same thoughts. I hope you leave comments down below. Give your thoughts, give your theories about how they could give it a proper closure. What could they do? Who would you want to see be involved other than obviously Rick, Daryl, Carol, our main characters? Would they bring back Morgan? Would they bring back Aaron and just anyone else that was left surviving from after the events of the Commonwealth War, and just the best way you think they could do it? Because I think an unofficial soft reboot, revival, whatever you want to call it, of The Walking Dead season 12, giving it just the proper close and giving all of these characters the proper send off, because we didn't get that. It felt very open ended when they ended the show, you know. Along with some characters dying, even though, yes, I know some of these actors, they wanted to be written off the show. That was kind of one of the last requests of the actress who played Rosita. She wanted to go. That was not like a writing choice as far as something that was being forced on her. She wanted to do that. And I know too, with the mess that is the timelines with these shows, because we know these timelines are all over the place. Dead City, supposedly a handful of years ahead. Daryl Dixon's probably around the same time as the end of The Ones Who Live. Fear, also the same way. It's probably a year or so off from the main timeline. And you just got all these different things going on all at once. And there's been no payout. There's been no mention of it, of what they plan to do. And, I made my complaints about Gimbal very clear in my last video. He doesn't care, and I've accepted it. But hopefully as just a favor to the fans and just wanting to do right by them, that he gives us this proper close and what they plan to do, because it's all very open-ended, very unfulfilling as far as a lot of these characters are concerned. So I think that would be the best idea. But that's just my opinion. If you share anything similar or you share something completely different, please let me know in the comments down below. I want to know what you guys have to say. And I guess that will do it, guys. So if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, consider subscribing, coming back for more videos just like this, and I will see you next time. So take care. Bye.